Group A is pretty straightforward. New Zealand can finish first or second. China can finish second or third. Korea can finish second or third. And Hong Kong, unfortunately for them, will no longer be able to advance as they will finish fourth. The visitors are now being introduced to the crowd here in Auckland. And China may already have booked their spot in the finals as hosts, but they're very keen to impress. And they've had some big performances so far. And they'll be wanting to finish on a high this evening and turn over the 9-point loss that they had in the reverse of this fixture back in February. Although they're qualified, the pressure will still be on them. There's always a higher expectation placed upon the hosts. They've appeared in the World Cup finals 8 times. They missed out in 2014, so a strong start in their qualification process here is important. Now to the home teams, the Tall Blacks. They've been on fire so far, and some might say the most entertaining team in the Asia zone. They're averaging just over 100 points per game, and they're happy to get into a shootout with their opponents. They've only lost 1 game, and that was to Korea back on game day 1 in November. They've learned from that, and they're now on a 4-game winning streak. They're yet to come up against a team that can restrict their offensive firepower, so it would be interesting to see how they were able to adapt if they did. They finished 15 at the World Cup finals back in 2014. So they'll not be only hoping to make the World Cup finals next year, but create some waves along the way. The Tall Blacks really are one to watch. And we're minutes away now from the tip, but before that, we'll take on the national anthems. First anthem for you will be that of China. Beautiful rendition of the Chinese anthem. Now for the anthem of New Zealand. Another wonderful rendition of the New Zealand anthem there here in the Spark Arena in Auckland as the players exchange their gifts. We are now minutes away from the opening tip. But before that, the traditional haka welcome a moment that all sports fans enjoy across the world. As always, the haka is well received. A beautiful sign of the traditional culture here in New Zealand. Several benefits. The origins of the haka obviously served as a warm-up before battle, as an aid to win the psychological battle before any physical action happened, and maybe even to intimidate the opposition. And the haka still has pretty much many of those properties when it comes to the sporting battle as well. Your officials for you this evening are Harjajal Ladri from Indonesia, Rika Buaron from the Philippines, Yevgeny Mikhailov from Kazakhstan. They'll be patrolling the court for us today, making sure everything is above board. And let's have a look at the Chinese roster. Once again, looking very strong. Zailing Wang has been on fine form. He's their key man, averaging just shy of a double-double so far in these qualifiers, 12 points, 9.3 rebounds per game. Also look out for Abdu Shalamu. He's been putting up 13.3 points and 6.7 boards per game. And their starting five are Zhao, Lu, Sun, Wang and Abdu Shalamu. That's a strong starting five for China, and no greater figure in the Chinese basketball world than Yao Ming in physical stature as well as legendary status. Looking across to the All Black roster now, it's heavy with firepower. Abercrombie and Gatai, Prooster and Fotu. They're the four players averaging double-digit scoring. Also look out for Jack Salt, number 33, the young big man. Impressive debut on Thursday, scored 9 points and grabbed 7 boards against Hong Kong. Starting five for New Zealand, Tarangi and Ili will feature in their backcourt. Should be a very, very interesting game here between China and New Zealand. Both of them will be expecting to make it through to the World Cup finals, and Coach Lee for China will have to deal with the pressure that's put upon him. But he's been able to incorporate numerous players into his system, and it hasn't affected their performance. And for Coach Henner over on the All Black bench, he must be pleased with the performance of his team so far, but he'll be making sure that they won't rest on their laurels. I expect him to have his guys ready again today with a win in their sights. We're just moments away from the opening tip here at the Spark Arena in Auckland, in front of a bumper crowd. All looking forward to some big international basketball. And if you've been enjoying these World Cup qualifiers and want to stay up to date with all the latest news, views and videos, make sure you download the FIBA World Cup app now. So get your smart device out. It's available on Android and Apple. So whether it's your phone or your tablet, you need to get it downloaded and start enjoying some of the action from the hundreds of World Cup games that have taken place so far in preparation for the 2019 FIBA World Cup in China. Just waiting for the starting fives to take to the floor as officials shake hands with all the players. The Chinese coaching team ready to go into battle as well. Salt will go up against Wang for the opening tip. And Salt manages to knock it back to Ili. Had a reasonably good start. He's played in all 5 qualifiers so far, averaged 8.6 points per game, and integral in running their impressive offensive structure as he blows past the Chinese defense, hands it inside to Fotu, and that's a quick score for New Zealand. Expect plenty of points on the board today. Zhao now with the ball. Feeds it into the low post to Wang. Wang going to work. Goes up against Salt. Nice little spin move there. Couldn't quite find any space to execute though, so it's going to come out for Liu now, and he's a little bit off mark with the shot. And Ili scoops up the loose ball for New Zealand. Pick and roll action with Salt, and Ili goes in strong. He's too heavy though, and Salt fights for the rebound and throws it back out. Soft right hand there from Tarangi. He couldn't get it to go though. It's going to be a Chinese ball on the baseline. As they advance it over the half in the hands of Soon, and he hands it off to Abdul Shalamu, an important figure for them. He wants to get on the board early and does. Misses his first attempt, grabs the rebound, goes back up strong for 2. Tarangi now. Into the low post to Fotu, who's going to back his way down. Oh, that's some quick spin into Salt. Salt going to work using the pivot foot, but that's great defense by Wang. Didn't give him any space whatsoever, but it's going to be stolen away. Fotu comes up with the ball in the end and hands it off to Ili. Back to Abercrombie, who pulls up for the jumper and nails it. An important shot for him. Getting his eye in early with the 3. Foul's going to be called on Salt. That's our first foul of the game as Soon looks to go to the basket. Beautiful form and a contested perimeter shot there for Abercrombie. 2 Chinese defenders on him, but such focus on the basket. Gets himself 3 points. Abdul Shalamu too quick with the footwork for Ili, and that's 2 quick fouls called on New Zealand. They'll have to be careful. They won't want to send China to the line too often. Zhao now with the ball on the baseline into Abdul Shalamu. Looks to back down. Fotu, and oh, what a beautiful fadeaway. Not the easiest of shots. Controlled his fadeaway very well, and nothing but the bottom of the net. Easy call for the officials there as Ili blasts his way past Zhao. And as Zhao tried to recover, really could only foul him. Nice textbook little fadeaway there by Abdul Shalamu. Very reminiscent of a one Dirk Nowitzki, his trademark signature move. Abercrombie now into Salt. Back to Abercrombie. Catch and shoot for Abercrombie. No good though. He was hoping to get back-to-back 3s, but no joy this time. Zhao, strong move to the basket. Stops on a dime and gets the 2 to go. Abercrombie again, another 3. He's too heavy with that one, and there's a battle for the board as Tarangi comes in to mix things up, but it will be a Chinese ball on the baseline. And here's the strong move by Zhao. Suan now into Liu, goes into the low post, and Wang's going to work, and that's good defense by Salt, but Wang still gets the 2. I have a feeling the battle between Wang and Salt is going to be a highlight of this evening's game, as those 2 go against each other, possession after possession. Ili now. To Abercrombie, back to Ili. Shot clock down to 6. Ili inside, that's a tough move, and always was unlikely to get that one to drop. And here's Xun now with the ball. Back out to Zhao. Oh, lob pass inside to Wang. Slightly, oh, what a steal there by Xun. Xun with the steal and the two, and nearly forced to put his hand up and accept the mistake was his. And important part of the game for China is going to be their defense. New Zealand have run rampant offensively so far in the qualifiers, averaging 102.4 a game. And there's Salt with a short-range left hand. Couldn't get it to go, and Zhao comes back the other way but loses the handle a little bit too quick. And Yao Ming in the crowd. Such an iconic part of Chinese basketball. He really was one of the sparks of, that started the interest and the absolute adoration of basketball in China. One of their biggest sports, and you have a feeling it's only going to go from strength to strength, and on the floor it's going to continue to grow as well. They're going to make it to the finals, but the lane opens up there for Jared Kenny, who's just checked into the game. I don't think he's going to get many easier opportunities than that in the World Cup. And also into the game is Jiwei Zhao as well. Liu now with the ball. Back to Zhao. Oh, crosses over, nice move, gets himself some space. That's beautiful form on the shot. And he introduces himself to the game with a long-range jumper. Kenny now into Vukona. Oh, spin move for Vukona. Beautiful ball movement to Abercrombie. Oh, short with that. He's really not found his form from the perimeter yet. Tarangi to Abercrombie. He's fouled. Let's wait to see where the call is. Abercrombie determined to get his long-range shooting sight set. Hasn't made it yet. Tarangi with a beautiful spin move and great ball rotation, but New Zealand unable to make it count so far, but the foul is called as Abercrombie goes to the basket. Liu has been called for the foul. It's his first foul of the game. Second team foul of the quarter for China. 4:42 left here in the first quarter. China lead by 5. Always a beautiful sound when you're at the free-throw line and you just hear that click almost as the ball goes through without almost touching the net or the ring. Abercrombie takes himself up to 5 points personal. Over half the points scored for New Zealand from his hand. Zhao now with the ball. Passes it to Jiwei Zhao, who's double teamed but deals with it well. Almost loses the ball again, and shot clock down to 5 as he passes it to Abdou Shalamu. He floats inside and a soft left hand off the glass for 2. China certainly having the better of the opening stages. They look more confident than the Kiwis do so far. Vukona now. Or loses his footing slightly, slips on the sponsor's logo. Shot clock down to 6. Kenny going to have to take the shot. Where's he going to take it though? Hands it inside to Abercrombie. Oh, who managed to beat the buzzer but couldn't get it to go. And the foul is going to be called as Vukona picks up the offensive rebound. It's almost like the Chinese team stopped, thinking that it was going to be a shot clock violation. The Tall Blacks played on, and Vukona scooped up the offensive rebound and has earned himself a trip to the line. Foul called on Abdou Shalamu. Sorry, on Zhao even. That's a second foul on Rui Zhao. Vukona short on the first. He's only shot 50% from the line so far, Mecca Vukona. Part of the New Zealand Breakers team who compete within the NBL in Australia. Made his senior debut back in 2005, so he's been a part of the Tall Blacks system for over a decade now. Vukona going to work in the paint. He comes back out now to Brewster. Brewster can't find his form from outside as he's just been introduced to the game. Liu now with the ball to Abdul Shalamu. Goes to Zhao. Now it's a kick to the corner to Tai Long Xiao, and he's off target, but Abdul Shalamu draws the foul. That will be New Zealand's third team foul of the quarter. It's a slightly cagey start to the game here from both these teams. They're both reasonably free-flowing on the offensive end. China averaging just shy of 90 points a game. They're not on course for that so far here. Abdul Shalamu fakes a three, drives inside. Oh, that's a beautiful handoff to Dong, but beautiful challenge inside by the Tall Blacks. Snuffs out that threat, and Ili pulls up for the jumper. Can't get it to go, and Prooster battles hard for the loose ball. Ili again inside, but no one's made the cut with him, so the wraparound pass will ultimately go out of bounds, and it will be a Chinese ball on the baseline. Oh, it's come off the leg of Vukona there. Good spot by the official. Zhao now with the ball for China. To Dong, back to Zhao. Zhao back to Dong. Beautiful little two-man game, but once again, the interior defense of New Zealand is strong, this time with Rob Lowe. Ili looking for options in front of him, and at the moment, the Chinese defense is really working well. A big battle in the low post between Vukona and Abdul Shalamu, but that doesn't put Ili off, and he drains the big three, and that really was much needed for New Zealand as their offense had stalled. That brings it back down to just a 2-point ball game now. New Zealand 12, China 14. A little over 2 minutes left here at the Spark Arena in the first quarter. Zhao tries to feed it inside to Dong, but once again the New Zealand defense closes down, but Abdul Shalamu picks up the loose ball. Unusual mistakes here by New Zealand on the defensive end. Ili now. Skips it to Lowe. Good ball movement to Prooster. Prooster finds some space to Ili. Shot clock down to 6. Ili is inside, and he's going to be fouled by Jiwei Zhao. Ili really has been so instrumental. You have a feeling that the whole tempo, speed and structure of the Tall Black team is dictated to by Shea Ili. He's played in all the qualifiers so far. Just waiting for a New Zealand substitution to take place as Abercrombie comes back into the game. Delaney hands it off to Ili. Back to Delaney, slightly off course with the pass as Delaney was looking to roll to the basket. Ili just floats inside though, and a beautiful left-handed finger roll for two. New Zealand working very hard to close out the perimeter, but that does leave you open for attack inside. Once you break through that tight perimeter defense, there's not a huge amount of help inside. Rui Zhao now with the ball. Goes up against Fo Tu, and quickly is closed down. That's quick hands by Kenny. Ili floats inside as it's stripped away. Abercrombie gets the loose ball though, but comes up short, and this time Yu grabs the rebound, and China are in full flow. What a pass as Yu finishes it off. But credit really does have to go to Zhao for the assist. Kenny now with the ball for the Tall Blacks to Delaney. And the foul is going to be called on Chan Dong Yu. That's the first foul on Yu. But China are in the bonus, so that will send New Zealand to the line for two. 24.3 seconds left in the quarter. Delaney will go to the line for two shots as Turangi checks back into the game. A little bit too heavy-handed there for Finn Delaney. Shooting 82% from the three-throw line so far in the qualifiers, so an unusual mistake from him. Connects with the second. Vukona comes back into the game as New Zealand apply a full court press in the closing stages, and they'd almost pinned him in the corner with a perfect double team, but a heads up play by Jiwei Zhao as he splits the defenders and draws the foul. New Zealand aren't quite in the bonus yet, but Vukona's picked up his second foul, so he's only just come back into the game and he's been on the court 3.3 seconds, and he's going to check back out again as Coach Hanair looks to defend and protect him. China now will look to take the final shot of this opening quarter. Jiwei Zhao now with the ball. Skips it to Rue Zhao. Back to Jiwei Zhao. Oh, nice little no-look pass, but it's knocked away and Dong couldn't convert. And the long half-court shot almost there for Kenny. Slightly off to the left. And that completes the first 10 minutes of action. It's been a cagey affair so far. New Zealand 15, China 18. Neither team finding their form, but China with a slight advantage at the end of 10 minutes of action here at the Spark Arena in Auckland. Welcome back to the Spark Arena here in Auckland. There's your first quarter shooting statistics, but give you a bit of an idea about the qualification process. Both these teams have already qualified for the second phase of qualification. Is just where are they going to finish in the group. If New Zealand win, they will take first place. China need to win by 10 points or more to steal that first place position. However, if China lose and Korea win against Hong Kong later, China will slip to third. Korea will jump into second spot. If Korea if Korea don't win later and China can't finish lower than second. And unfortunately for Hong Kong, although they've put in some valiant performances, they will finish fourth no matter what the results are today, and that will signal the end of their World Cup qualification plight this time around. It's been an interesting group. At the moment, New Zealand lead the group, 4 wins, 1 loss. China, 3 wins, 2 losses. And Korea, 3 wins, 2 losses. A very close battle, and one of the more offensive-minded groups across the whole world, with both New Zealand and China averaging high scoring points per game. And Korea aren't far behind. They average 85.2 points per game. So some entertaining basketball in Group A of the Asia Zone qualifiers. Well, we are ready to start the second quarter here in Auckland, with China holding a 3-point lead over New Zealand. Zhao with the ball. Moving the ball well round the perimeter, looking to feed the low post to Wang, and he's fouled as he goes to the basket, and that one's going to be chalked up on Rob Lowe. 27-year-old plays also for the New Zealand Breakers. Several members of this New Zealand squad do, which can only help the consistency and the understanding within the team. Long shot now from Tai Long Jiao, and couldn't get it to go, and in the rebounding battle, the foul has been committed by Chandong Yu. And Illy once again in control of the ball for the Tall Blacks. Turns a corner, pulls up for the mid-range jumper, and the rebounding battle is ultimately won by Rob Lowe, and he pulls the trigger on a three and drains the three to tie the game. That's a big couple of plays by Rob Lowe. Grabs the offensive board and then steps out and hits the triple. Yu now with the ball. Comes back out to Wang, who hands it off to Zhao. But it's knocked away. There's been hands in the passing lane by New Zealand. They really have been quick with the hands. Ili now, oh, beautiful spin move inside, and he's fouled by Rui Zhao, and that'll get him a trip to the line. Ili on 5 points already in a little over 9 minutes of play, and there's Rob Lowe's big triple to tie the game, and the spin move by Ili. And if you're ever teaching kids, the key to that spin move is establishing that foot as deep inside the paint as you can, and that's a worry for Zhao. He's picked up his third foul, and he's going to head to the bench as Ming Hui soon comes back in. Ili can't take the lead for New Zealand. Misses both, but that's a huge rebound by Lowe, and China completely asleep there, boxing out, and you can see the reaction of coach Nan Lee. He was not happy with that performance on the defensive end from his team. Rui Zhao now inside. It's come off the hand of Ili, so they'll hold on to the ball. And plenty of Chinese fans in the crowd, many of whom will have made the trip from China to Auckland, but many of them will also be based in New Zealand, and they'll have been happy to see the team drawn against New Zealand. It's a long shot from Zhao, and he had to put it up because the shot clock was running down. But New Zealand will come back the other way with Ili on the reverse layup. Oh, can't get it to go, but does draw the foul. Big play by Shea Ili, and he has a finger in every single pie with regards to the Tall Blacks. He is controlling the New Zealand performance so far, and he's unlucky not to get that one to drop. An exhibition of athleticism there for the 26-year-old. That's the third team foul of the quarter for China, and under 2 minutes played, that will be a concern, but even more of a concern for New Zealand will be Shea Ili's woes at the free-throw line. He's struggled throughout this qualification campaign, only shooting 54% from the free-throw line, only 20% from the perimeter. That's tough for a guy who's 1.83 meters. You really do need to be able to shoot, and that's 0 from 4 so far. Thank goodness for Fotu, who's grabbed the offensive board, and I think that's where Shea Ili finds he gets his points more often, picks up the two, and I'm sure he'll be thanking Isaac Fotu for grabbing that offensive rebound and bailing him out of the 2 missed free throws. And a timeout's been called by China as they've seen not only their lead disappear, but New Zealand stretch out to a 4-point lead of their own. Let's jump into the huddle and listen to the Chinese discussion. As you'd expect at this point of the game, reasonably calm timeouts from both coaching staffs. Nothing to panic about at the moment. And New Zealand will be happy that they've started this second quarter so well on a 7-0 run. And China will want to combat that. That's why they've called the timeout. They want to halt the momentum, hit a bit of a reset button and go again after what was a strong start to the game. remember, if you're sharing any of these highlights or your thoughts on the FIBA 2019 World Cup qualifiers on any of your social media channels, make sure you use hashtag #ThisIsMyHouse. Let's get these games trending across social media all over the world. Good ball movement by China here, and ball in the hands of Liu, and behind the back pass there to Abdul Shalamu, and a spin move but loses his footing. That's well read by Rob Lowe. He knew that the spin coming back into the basket was coming, and he made sure that he stepped across to block that path, and Abdul Shalamu had nowhere to go but to travel. Jared Kenny now with the ball. Ball goes inside to Fotu. Oh, beautiful play there by Isaac Fotu. Read the defender's positioning really well. Just catch and fades to the basket. No stopping, no thought process whatsoever. Just an instinct to catch the ball and float straight to the basket. And the foul's going to be called on Ziling Wang. An important part of the Chinese team. They won't want too many fouls called on Ziling Wang. He's averaging 12 points per game, 9.3 boards. And China come back with the ball. Xun now with the ball. Abdul Shalamu hands it back to Xiao Fang. Back to Sun. Sun goes inside, hands it off. Oh, that's a nice pass by Sun, but Fan can't get it to go. But China managed to hold on to it, can they? No, Lowe comes in and steals it away. Oh, both teams working so hard on the defensive end, and now it's a bit of a scrap for the loose ball, and almost like the All Blacks. Rob Lowe on the floor covering the ball up. He's expecting a ruck to form there, and for the ball to be recycled back out. Instead, a foul has been called, and Lowe once again working hard for his team. And the foul is called on Ji-Shun Sun. Kenny now picking up point guard responsibilities, and Fotu pulls a trigger on a short-range jumper. Can't get it, but the offensive rebound is won by Fotu, and he'll fade away with a little right-hand hook. A little too heavy on that one, and it bounces off the iron. Oh, but a mistake there by Sun, and New Zealand will come back with it. Tarangi now with the ball. He'll slow it down, and Sun is working hard to make up for the mistake he's just made. Fotu will back his way down again. Abdul Shalamu can't stop him, and Fotu picks up his 6 points of the game now, as New Zealand stretch out to an 8-point lead on the back of this 11-0 run. China haven't scored. We're almost 4 minutes into this quarter. Abdul Shalamu now. Back to Fang. Fan sets a screen for Fang and doesn't use it, but Fang with a nice move, steps away, but unable to even find any of the iron on that occasion. And New Zealand really are in the ascendancy. Fotu now. Going up against Fan, looking to back his way down, and just too strong. Isaac Fotu absolutely dominating Ziming Fan in the post. And you have a feeling that New Zealand will continue to exploit that until China find a way to stop it. Soon now, oh, he gets the first points of the quarter. 4.5 minutes into the quarter. It's taken China that long to get a score, but they've stopped the rot, and one of their biggest problems has been the big man, Isaac Fotu. He has absolutely dominated on the offensive end. He's completely taken the Chinese front court to school, and you see the slight smile on his face there. You can fully understand why. And timeout called by New Zealand. Let's jump into their huddle and hear what they're going to be discussing. One of the great sights of basketball is always seeing fans of both teams completely intermingled. It's such a wonderful, friendly, inclusive sport. Yes, there's plenty of passion for the team. Yes, you want your team to beat the other team. But the respect and the admiration for fellow fans is never in doubt in international basketball. An interesting statistic on the graphic there. During that timeout, New Zealand have more offensive rebounds than they do defensive rebounds. That is an unbelievable statistic. 9 offensive boards to 8 defensive boards for New Zealand. And that really has been one of the keys to them building this 8-point lead. Kenny now in control to Fotu, who's had a bright start to this second quarter. Illy's back into the action as the shot clock runs down to 7. Kenny's going to pull the trigger on a 3. A little bit too much on that one. And Illy manages to pick up the loose ball and float inside. There's an issue with the shot clock at the moment. It seems to have got stuck on 1. The officials are going to have to stop the game to correct the shot clock issue, and it stopped on 1 after that first offense. So we're going to have to see what they're going to close it down to. Instead, they've called a shot clock violation. That's a tough call by the officials. I can understand why the New Zealand head coach, Paul Henar, is a little bit upset by the call. Always difficult when a call is delayed. And the officials are just explaining it to him now, and he's having his fair say. And it's one of the good points of basketball that officials will communicate clearly with the coaching staff. They're quite happy to hear their concerns and try and remedy any situations that are problematic. Not always going to give them the answer they want, and in that situation, thankfully he was facing the other way. Otherwise, I think we may have been able to lip read some words that might have not been so choice. But in this situation, it's going to be a shot clock violation, and China will receive the ball on the sideline. I think the officials just want to clarify the situation with the shot clock, make sure that none of the issues are going to repeat, and we can carry on with the game. But New Zealand sitting with an 8-point lead. And it would be a huge boost for them if they were to go through to the second phase of qualification with only 1 loss to their name. That really does put them in the driving seat. Oh, in fact, the officials have reviewed the call, and it's going to be a New Zealand ball. They're now having to explain it to the Chinese coaching staff, who, as you can imagine, are just as upset as the New Zealand coaching staff were. But the crowd here in the Spark Arena in Auckland are primarily happy with the reversal of the call, as you can imagine, and New Zealand will get another offense, and this time 14 seconds are on the shot clock for them. Illy drives inside, tries to find Salt. Kenny picks it up instead, slightly off to the right with his attempt from distance. New Zealand will bring it back the other way with Zhao, and he is fouled by Jack Salt. And Zhao finds the slightest lane to the basket and draws the contact from Salt. That's a great play by Ru Zhao. Part of the team in Guangdong. Plays in the Chinese top league, as do all 12 players for China. Ziling Wang was drafted into the NBA in 2016, 27th pick by Memphis, but has moved back to China. Another foul is going to be called on Jack Salt there, as Mingui Zun went tough for the rebound. Salt's not too happy. That's his 3rd foul. You'd imagine that means he's going to get a spot on the bench until probably way into the second half now. I'm sure Coach Henar won't risk him any further in this first half. Slight stop-start phase to the game we've entered. Zhao now puts the inbound long to Soon. And Abdou Shalamou sets the screen. Back to Zhao. Back to Soon now. Shot clock down to 10 seconds. Soon drives inside. It's come off the foot of Low, but Illy has picked up the loose ball. Hands it to a trailing Fotu. To Low for three. Fotu once again with the offensive board. He's a machine on the offensive board. He's willing to scrap for everyone, and a 3-on-1 break for China. Can they finish it? Soon now with the ball. New Zealand recovered on the transition defense, and China unable to make use of their huge advantage on that transition offense. Coach Lee not overly impressed by that. It's the first steal of the game for China, and Soon will be called for the foul. Here's the 3-on-1 break, and they were running it almost like a drill in training rather than a live play in a game. You often see players in training overpassing the ball in your drills, be it a 4-man break or a 3-on-2, 2-on-1 break situation. It's important to obviously put game discipline into those drills, otherwise you get situations like that. And I think Yao Ming's expression tells you a story of the Chinese performance here in the second quarter. They've been outscored 13-3 by New Zealand. And Illy's woes from the free-throw line continue. That's 5 misses in a row from Illy. He'll be keen to break the seal on his 3 throws. And at last for him, even a shake of the head on the make. Can't believe he's missed so many. He's 1 from 6 from the charity stripe. 17% for a guard from the 3-throw line. That's not a great look, and Isaac Fotu, rightfully so, gets some high fives from his teammates. Zhao now to the basket. He's fouled on his way there, and Dion Prewster will be called for the foul. Prewster, born in the States, moved to New Zealand when he was 7 years old, and then basketball's been in his life pretty much ever since. Been part of the national team setup since the Oceania Championship in 2015. Zhao now at the line for 2, and there's too much on that one, and that's his first miss from the 3-throw line in the entire qualification process. It's only his second game of the qualifiers. His first came 2 days ago against Korea, where he scored 11 points and pulled down 3 boards. And China also applies some full court pressure now as Zhao goes to the bench. Oh, the pass inside to Abercrombie. Beautiful press break there by New Zealand. Way too easy for them to break the Chinese defense. Abercrombie up to 7 points now. Soon with the ball, looking to feed Wang, but that's not where Ziling Wang wants the ball. But New Zealand are working very hard to only allow him to get the ball way, way away from the basket. There's the pass from Low to Abercrombie for the layup on the alley-oop. Liu now to Wang. Is it stolen away? No, it's not. He manages to hold on to it. Tries his own spin move, but it's knocked away. Illy now out to Prewster. And that's a pretty straightforward 2 in the break for Dion Prewster. And a timeout has been called by China as a New Zealand lead is in double digits. New Zealand 33, China 22. China really do need to make a change, and make a change soon. Their defense doesn't seem to be stopping the rampant New Zealand offense. Really has stepped up a few gears in this second quarter. And it is all stemmed by the New Zealand defense. 13 points from turnovers. And they've got out on the break for 6 of those. Let's listen into the New Zealand timeout, see what they have to say. China are first onto the floor after the timeout. 2:56 left in this second quarter, and China will be keen to at least make a dent into that 11-point lead that New Zealand have developed over them in the last 10 minutes, outscoring them 18-4 since the start of the second quarter. Liu brings it up over the half and hands it on to Soon. Dong sets the screen. Soon doesn't use it. He calls him back for another screen though. Shot clock down to 9. Soon pulls up for the long two. They just haven't got their sights set here in this second quarter. They've struggled to get any shots close to the basket as New Zealand's sprawling defense works effectively, and their long distance accuracy is slightly off at the moment. Illy, Abercrombie for three. Not enough accuracy in that one, and the foul is going to be called on Mingwei Soon as he over battles for the offensive rebound, and China are already in a team foul situation, so Finn Delaney will head back to the line for 2 shots. Delaney had a big game out last time against Hong Kong. Scored 15 points and also pulled down 6 boards in New Zealand's 124-65 rout of Hong Kong on Thursday. Misses the first but hits the second. Liu now with the ball for China, and New Zealand continue to apply the pressure. Abdou Shalamu now. Back to Zhao, to Abdou Shalamu, and New Zealand making China play their offense outside the three-point line, and great defense there by Rob Lowe, rejecting Jishuan Liu as he drives to the basket. Beautiful defense, a long wingspan of Rob Lowe being used to full effect. Zhao now for the jumper, in and out, big rebound by Dong. He can't get it to go, so it'll come back out. Into the corner to Zhao, fakes the jumper, fakes the second jumper. They're moving the ball well, but it's a shot clock violation. Seem to be having a few issues with the shot clock in the arena. It ticks down to 1, but the buzzer's not going to inform the officials of a shot clock violation. The officials are going around the back of the scorekeeping table to check that the problem can be resolved. We've got 1:45 left in this first half. New Zealand will be reasonably happy with the shift they put in particular this second quarter. They're just revisiting the footage now of the shot, and should have reset there but didn't. I think that's the problem they've got. Having a few issues resetting the shot clock. As you can see in the top of the screen, the shot clock above the basket has been sitting at 1 second for the entirety of that play. I'd imagine potentially they'll have to come back and give a full 14 seconds to China. We'll wait to see what the outcome is. Never good for players though, the stop-start situation. You lose your flow and momentum. Might help the Chinese out. They're certainly not in full flow at the moment here in the Spark Arena in Auckland. But for New Zealand, they really will want to continue to apply the pressure and put China to the sword. The fans in the crowd don't seem too concerned though. I think they're just enjoying the game, and the decision's been made. The shot clock has been set to 5, and it's going to be a Chinese ball on the baseline. They'll have to take a shot quickly as Zhao tries to find space. Goes off the glass for 2, and that could be an important score for Jiwei Zhao. And a timeout has been called by New Zealand. I think that's a smart move by Coach Hinare. He's seen that China have scored. He wants to break them before they get any kind of rhythm in the game. Wasn't the prettiest of shots, banking it off the glass. But at this stage of proceedings, I think the Chinese will take scores in any which way they come. And you almost felt a relieved sigh from the Chinese fans in the crowd. And as you go, China had a slight advantage in the first quarter, but New Zealand have dominated the second. Let's listen to the New Zealand huddle here. And we're back on the floor with the Chinese team already to go again, as you can hear the t-shirt cannons firing in the arena, much to the enjoyment of the crowd here in Auckland. But back to the serious business of this World Cup qualifier. New Zealand lead 34-24 over China. A minute and a half left in the second quarter. Illy now with the ball for New Zealand. To Lowe, long 3 from Rob Lowe. Oh, nothing but string music for Rob Lowe. He's up to 8 points personal, along with 7 rebounds and 3 assists. He's having a huge night here. Abdou Shalamu now hands it back to Liu. Back to Zhao and, sorry, to Fang, and he's off balance but gets it to go. Illy now picks the ball up with 50 seconds to play. Stolen away, has it? Yes, it is. The Chinese are working hard to get hold of that, but Abercrombie's working harder. And a little bit of afters on the floor between Zhao and Abercrombie. I think Abercrombie's more frustrated that he thought a call should be made. The officials are making it clear, you carry on, you're both going to get technical fouls. Sensibly, the players walk away, and a double technical foul has actually been called. One on Abercrombie and one on Jiwei Zhao as well. And you can see Zhao Jiwei was not happy with the elbow from Abercrombie. And let him know in a physical way rather than just a verbal way. So that's how they both got their technical fouls, but they cancel each other out with regards to the on-court action, and China will receive the ball with 37 seconds left in this second quarter. Soon looks for the 3, has to hand it off though, and it's going to end up in the hands of Zhao Jiwei, and now into the hands of Fang, and he can't get it to go, and it's knocked out of bounds off a hand, off a tall black hand, and it's going to be a Chinese ball. There's should be a reset on the shot clock. We're having more issues with the shot clock here in the Spark Arena. 18.9 seconds to play. It has made the game a little bit stop-start as they struggle to reset the shot clock once again. You do feel sorry for the young man operating the shot clock. Really out of his control, the technical issues that they were experiencing. The Chinese ball on the sideline. 16 seconds to play, and they will run down this clock, looking to take the final shot of the quarter. Zhao now moves it back out to Fang. Fang floats inside. Will he get the roll? No, he won't. But it goes to Zhao, and he drains a huge three at the end of the first half. How important will that triple P for Zhao Jiwei? And that's going to bring the deficit down now to just 8 points at the halftime break. New Zealand 37, China 29 here at the Spark Arena in Auckland. And that, believe it or not, is the first three of the game for China. And the rebounding battle has been key for New Zealand. They've won that. 12 offensive rebounds. That really has led to the lead that New Zealand have, and the 10 turnovers by China will not have helped their cause either. So China will be looking to make an amends in the third quarter, as New Zealand really had a slightly slow start but found their way in the second quarter. They've got 3 players on 8 points. Isaac Fotu has got 8 points and 3 boards. Rob Lowe, 8 points, 7 boards, 3 assists, and 4 blocks to his name already in 13.5 minutes of action. That's a huge, huge night at the office for Rob Lowe. And Shea Ili, although he struggled from the free throw line, only 1 from 6, just 17% in that category. He's got 8 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals. And I think more importantly for the Tall Blacks, Shea Ili really does control the flow of the game, the tempo with which the Tall Blacks play the game. For China, Abdou Shalamu leads them in scoring. He's got 8 points and 5 boards in 16.5 minutes of on-court action. And then Zhao Jiwei has 7 points to his name. But China really did struggle in that second quarter to get any points on the board. Taking them 4.5 minutes to score anything, and they lost that second quarter 22-11 in the end. That man, Isaac Fotu, had a sprightly phase in that second quarter, and you see here absolutely dominating Fan in the low post and getting a shot way, way too close to the basket for Chinese comfort. And New Zealand really were on top of the game at this point, as Brewster gets out in transition for the easy 2. But China kept their heads and battled back into the game and tried to get some easy scores by getting close to the basket. And that score there by Zhao Jiwei off the glass seemed to break the seal a little bit for the Chinese team. And the 3 just before the buzzer was absolutely crucial for them. And who knows, maybe that will spark them into life in the third quarter. But at the halftime break, New Zealand lead this one 37-29. Make sure you join us here for all the action at the Spark Arena in New Zealand, as the second half is just round the corner. Welcome back to the Spark Arena here in Auckland as we are halfway through the World Cup qualifier between New Zealand and China. An interesting first 20 minutes has already gone, with China probably just about winning the battle of the first quarter. But my goodness me, did New Zealand come out in fire in the second quarter. They outscored China 22-11 in that second quarter, and it took China almost half of the quarter even to register any points whatsoever. Pretty even spread of scoring for the Tall Blacks as well. Fotu, Lowe and Illy all on 8 points. But Rob Lowe really does have to be commended for his performance. Just over 13.5 minutes played, and he's not only got his 8 points, he's got 7 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, but astonishingly enough, 4 blocks. He certainly has entertained the crowd here in the Spark Arena. Maybe not Yao Ming so much. He'll have been watching his Chinese team in that second quarter slightly dismayed as they struggled to not only find open shots on the offensive end, but to protect their own rim and to win defensive rebounds. Unbelievable statistic is that New Zealand almost have as many offensive rebounds as they do defensive rebounds. 11 offensive rebounds in that first half, giving them the second chance points opportunities, which has enabled them to open up this 8-point lead. This is the game day 6 and the final game for both of these teams in the first qualification phase for the 2019 FIBA World Cup. New Zealand want to finish on a high, and if they win, they'll top Group A in the Asia zone. However, if China are to win today by 10 points or more, they will steal that first place spot away from the Kiwis. Even worse for China if they do lose today and Korea win against Hong Kong. China will slip to third place and Korea will jump into second place. Final words from the New Zealand coach, Paul Penair. And the Chinese huddle getting their final instructions as well. I'm sure they've had an interesting conversation in the locker room after that second quarter. And as you see there, Wang Jiling just getting some final instructions from the assistant coach. And Abercrombie comes back onto the floor as the fans here in the Spark Arena finish off their halftime snacks. And the wonderful thing to see is that we have fans of both New Zealand and China in the arena, and it's making for a great atmosphere in this great international basketball qualification window, which has seen bumper crowds across the world, and none more so than here in New Zealand. A near full house of 12,000 people in the Spark Arena in Auckland as we get the game underway with Illy in control of the ball for New Zealand. Salt is back into the game for the Tall Blacks after picking up 3 fouls in the first half. Abercrombie now on the pick and roll with Salt. He's going to look to back down Wang. Good defense by Wang, but Salt manages to find a way to get his shot over the outstretched arms of Wang Jiling. Liu now passes it in to Zhao Ru, and an early 2 points for Zhao. Brings it back down to an 8-point lead now for China. And the foul is going to be called. Wait to see who that's called on. Yes, it's called on Zhao Jiwei. As we see a replay of Salt working the low post. Part of the Virginia team in the NCAA, Jack Salt. These qualifiers are his first senior caps for New Zealand. The foul has been called, I think, on Jack Salt. No, on Illy. That's his second foul. Thankfully for Jack Salt, that would have been his fourth. Lou now with the ball at the top. To Abdou Shalamou. Back to Lou. Little two-man game on the wing. Lou now looking for some options. Goes to Zhao. Zhao can't quite get enough on that one, and a whistle on the play. And Zhao Jiwei is off target with the three. Illy now. Back out to Fotu. Illy really is integral to everything New Zealand are doing. Oh, nice handle on the ball. Comes back out. Abercrombie for three. Oh, Abercrombie drains the three. But once again, Shea Illy, so influential. He drew the defense with some slick handle and hands it back out to Abercrombie. Wide open for the three, and he obliges with some string music. Beautiful form on the shot. But then goes and gets called for a foul. That's two early team fouls for New Zealand in this quarter. Zhao Ru goes to the basket, can't get it to go, but he'll step out for the three instead. He's short on that. He'll fight for the rebound though, and Abercrombie scoops it up for New Zealand. Illy now tries to pass it back to Salt, but it is deflected to Abercrombie. Back to Illy. He fakes a three, goes up against Wang, and it's off a Chinese hand, so it'll still be a New Zealand ball on the baseline. And Illy will inbound for New Zealand. 7:39 left in the third quarter. Ball in the hands of Fotu now, who's going to see if he can back his way to the basket again, I imagine. Oh, what a beautiful pass inside to Salt. Salt's a little bit too heavy with a shot off the glass, and China will be relieved that that one didn't go in. Zhao now. Lou feeds it into Wang. Wang squaring off against Salt. And he loses the handle, but Salt's going to get called for the foul. That'll be foul number 4 on Jack Salt. I'd imagine we'll see him being taken out of the game. Wang with a couple of little hesitations, and yeah, there's the problem he's got. He's played great defense until he's let his hands play the defense, and that's going to earn him a prolonged spell on the bench. And there's a man that could play the low post. The 7'6" frame of Yao Ming terrorized teams across the globe, none more so than his time in Houston for the Rockets in the NBA, as well as wearing a national team jersey in numerous FIBA tournaments. He really has been the spark that fired the interest for basketball in China. Wang can't connect with the second of his 2 free throws. Just 3 points so far for Wang Jiling. Tarangi into the game, feeds the low post, but the foul is going to be called on Wang. He really is a bright hope for the future of Chinese basketball, Wang Jiling. Just 23 years old. He stands 2 meters 12. Fotu can't get it to go this time, and Zhao will come away with it. And he hands it off to Zhao Jiwei, who comes back to Abdou Shalamou, and there's a bit of a tangle under the basket between Wang and Illy. But thankfully for all involved, that's resolved without any fouls being handed out. Illy now, as China apply a bit more pressure, and he almost loses the ball. But they managed to get it up over the half. Illy pulls up for the long 2, and he's short on that attempt. He really hasn't found his form so far from range, Shea Illy. Zhao now puts Illy on his backside, but can't convert the 2. And Low has it stolen away by Zhao. And it's off Illy's foot for a Chinese ball. And slightly worrying times for New Zealand. They're falling to the pressure of the Chinese defense. They're starting to make some mistakes. Baseline ball for China, and you can get a feeling within the crowd, and you can probably hear it as well, that the Chinese fans are starting to become a bit more vocal. Oh, lovely interior pass by Zhao. And that really is a sign of how China are starting to play now, as they drop into a zone press, and Abdul Shalamu will be more than grateful to receive that pass for the two. Abercrombie for three. And Abdul Shalamu picks up the rebound for China. To Zhao on the wing. Soon now slows it down and hands it back to Zhao Ru. Uses a screen set by Wang, and China are absolutely in the ascendancy now, and the lane just opens up for Zhao Ru, and he obliges with two off the glass, and the Chinese lead is down to 6, and an interception now by Abdul Shalamu. He's out of the race. He's one-on-one with Tarangi. The foul is called. Abdul Shalamu looks like he's in pain though on the floor, holding onto his knee. Oh, the Chinese will be hoping that's not serious, because it certainly looks like it might be. Which knee is it? It's the right knee, so it's not the knee landed on. It might just be the contact with Tarangi. It might be a bit of knock knee, to use the colloquial term, but he looks like he's in a huge amount of pain, and understandably so. The Chinese bench are asking potentially for an unsportsmanlike foul, but to the relief of all those on the Chinese side, Abdul Shalamu is back on his feet, and he'll head to the line with an opportunity to bring the New Zealand lead down to just 4 points. 5:22 left here in the third quarter. New Zealand already in team foul situation for the quarter. China will have to make hay while the sun shines here and capitalise fully. Abdul Shalamu misses the first of his 2 free throws. Prior to tonight's game, he was shooting 78% from the 3-throw line. Really has broken out in these World Cup qualifiers, his first senior international caps. He connects with the second, so the New Zealand lead is down to 5, and China continue to apply a 2-2-1 zone press. Brewster's into the game for Tarangi. And Kenny's also in now as well. Ball goes down into the low post to Low. He can't get it to go, but Wang will come away with it for China. Zhao now with the ball. Back to Zhao Ru, into Wang in the low post. A double team comes across. Wang manages to get the 2 offensive rebounds, and he'll battle yet again. My goodness me. That is some serious hustle from Wang Zheling. New Zealand players crowding around him, and he refused to give up on that play. You see him here, first shot, no good, rebound, second shot, no good, steals the ball back, third shot, no good, but he's fouled. That real was determination from Wang Zheling, and China will call a timeout. Interesting time to call a timeout. They're in the ascendancy. They kind of seem to have New Zealand on the ropes slightly. For their sake, you hope that it doesn't break the momentum, but let's head into that Chinese huddle to see what they're going to do. Both teams come out of their huddles, and the interesting statistic really is the increased tenacity of the Chinese defense, primarily on a zone press, a 2-2-1 zone press that they've applied. And that's kept New Zealand to just 5 points in the opening 5.5 minutes of action here in Auckland. If they can continue to restrict the New Zealand offense, they really do have a chance of a win, and potentially that 10-point win, which is the magic number for them to take top spot here in Group A of the Asia Qualifiers for the 2019 FIBA World Cup. And he connects with the second. Brings it down to just a 3-point ball game. Now a 1-possession game on our hands, and the pressure will start to rise on both teams now. Abercrombie with the ball. To Low, back to Abercrombie, and the foul's going to be called. We'll wait to see what it is. It might have been a hand check from Zhao Ru. Yeah, it is indeed, and that's his 4th foul. That's a big call on the floor and will change how China approach this game. Fang Shuo will come into the game in replacement of Zhao. Oh, it opens up for Rob Lowe. He doesn't take it. He kicks it out to Kenny, who goes in to Vukona. Vukona with the right hand, but Lowe's there to tip it back in. It's plays like this that really do help you get back into a game when you've been struggling to get points. Get those easy wins, a little bit of hustle, get yourself some points on the board, and you'll soon see things starting to change. Liu now with the ball for China. We'll try to get it inside to Wang, but Lowe read it well and intercepts it. Kenny now with the handoff to Ili. To Lowe for 3! No joy, and China grab the rebound. That sparks their transition offense. Abdul Shalamu now with the ball against Lowe. It goes to Liu. And they slow it down again. Shot clock down to 8. Zhao Jiwei. But a foul is going to be called on Ili as he tries to box out Abdul Shalamu. Legally is the interpretation from the officials here. And as New Zealand are in the team foul situation, that will send Abdul Shalamu to the line. And Ili will go to the bench with 3 fouls. It's not really too problematic for New Zealand. More a cautious removal of Ili from the game to risk him picking up a 4th. But with Abdul Shalamu hitting both his 3 throws, it's back down to just a 3-point ball game with 3 minutes and 17 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Kenny now with the ball for the Tall Blacks. Abercrombie feeds it to Vukona. Abercrombie, little step to the side for his jumper. Didn't seem comfortable though. Was looking for the pass but took the jumper and missed. And Zhao now inside to Abdul Shalamu, and we're down to a 1-point ball game. China have battled their way back into this one at the Spark Arena in Auckland, and you can hear the crowd now slightly nervous, the home crowd. Vukona, right hand, too heavy, and Zhao with the rebound. Can China take the lead? Skips it. Zhao now will slow things down. Abdul Shalamu for 3! Big shot for Abdul Shalamu! That 3 puts China into the lead. And you hear the reaction of the Chinese fans in the crowd. They love what they're seeing. Oh, Wang's going to be called for the foul though, and Abdul Shalamu's taken his personal tally to 18 points. He shot 7 from 9 from the field, and no shot sweeter than the big triple as he bounces back down the court, and the fans in the crowd from China show their appreciation. But that foul on Wang is going to take him to the bench. A crazy foul for Wang Jialing to commit. He was so far away from the basket, unnecessary, and it might make a dent in the resurgent Chinese efforts. Kenny now, shot clock down to 5. To Lowe, fakes the 3, takes the 3, drains the 3. What a big shot by Rob Lowe. He's up to 13 points. He really has had a big night here in Auckland. Zhao fakes the jumper, comes out, but he's fouled. That'll send him to the line for 2 shots. The game is starting to heat up nicely. It's bubbling away. Rob Lowe, lovely fake, sets himself for the triple. And it sees nothing but the bottom of the net. And Rob Lowe really has had an absolutely huge night so far here at the Spark Arena. He's 1 rebound shy of a double-double. Before that, Zhao Jiwei goes to the line for 2. He's light on the first. Jordan Ngatai is into the game for the first time as well for New Zealand, and his first piece of box score action is to pick up a foul, and that free throw from Zhao Jiwei ties the game. 1 minute 41 left in the third. New Zealand 47, China 47. Kenny now being harassed by Soon. Kenny to Lowe. Lowe inside to Fotu, and the foul is called. That looks like a tough call for me. It looked like Fotu was almost holding. Yu Chan Dong off with his hand, but the officials see it the other way, and that will send Fotu to the line for 2 shots. Third foul on Yu Chan Dong. Chinese coaching staff aren't happy with the call either. Fotu isn't really worried about that, and he hits the first of his 2 free throws. That's taken him to 10 points personal, along with his 4 boards. Now up to 11. Soon now with the ball at the top, and New Zealand have dropped into a 1-3-1 zone. It's not something you see that often in international basketball. If you can execute it well and the players rotate well, it's very difficult to break down. Soon now drives the baseline, and that is exactly where the weakness of a 1-3-1 zone is. You overload to one side, skip the ball quickly to the other side and primarily towards the corner, and the recovering player is always going to struggle, and Rob Lowe caught there, moving sideways to try and block off the baseline. That's a very smart play by the Chinese team to adapt their offense to the New Zealand defense, especially when it's such an unusual defense. You really don't see a 1-3-1 zone applied that often in international basketball. It is a little bit more of a purist's defense, and it makes the defensive team have to work very hard, particularly the guy who's playing the baseline on the 1-3-1. The amount of meters they have to cover is quite impressive, but that second make for Sun Minghui brings it back into a 1-point ball game now. And we enter the final minute of this third quarter, and what an interesting third quarter we've had. China really finding their feet again. Into Fotu now. He's going to try and back his way down against Soon, and the help defense comes off. Tarangi for 3, can't get it to go, and Fotu works hard for the rebound, but it's going to be a China ball. No real arguments on that one, even if Fotu does try to argue it. 34 seconds left in the third quarter. China ball on the baseline, and they trail by 1. 49 to New Zealand, 48 to China. An interesting third quarter we've had, and China have outscored the Kiwis 19-12 in this quarter, and really has set up an interesting final period of action for us. Soon now for three! Off the iron and out with that one. Ngati grabs the rebound and hands it out to Ili, and New Zealand will look to run the clock down and take the final shot of the quarter. Vukona now hands it back to Kenny, back to Vukona, to Ili, clock down to 4 seconds. Ili inside, right hand, finger roll for two. And that's the way that New Zealand will have wanted to finish the quarter. They head to the bench, leading this one 51-48. And sorry, that was Tarangi, not Ili. Tarangi with the finger roll there to finish the quarter. And New Zealand will be happy to actually still have a lead after China have had a strong quarter of action here at the Spark Arena in Auckland. Even though China had a very strong third quarter and their shooting percentages have risen considerably in that third quarter, New Zealand still hold that 3-point lead, and you do have to look at the man Rob Lowe for one of the reasons. He's had a huge night tonight. Just over 20 minutes of action for him, and he's got 13 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals and 4 blocks. He really has lit the box score up in pretty much every single column. For China, they've lent heavily on Abdul Shalamu. He's played 24 minutes and he's got himself 18 points, 7 boards and a steal. But importantly, his efficiency's been very high. 7 from 9, 78% from the field. Abdul Shalamu, and no better shot for him than that 3. You can see how much he enjoyed it. And Rob Lowe quickly answered it though with a 3 of his own, and it really has started to warm up here in the Spark Arena in Auckland, as both these teams want to finish the first phase of qualification for the 2019 FIBA World Cup on a high. And we are perfectly poised for an exciting final 10 minutes of action. And these two teams will be the first teams across the globe to complete their first phase qualification. This will be the first 6 of what will be 12 games that both these teams will face in their qualification. Obviously, China already qualified automatically for the finals as they are the host nation, but they still wanted to go through this qualification process, and New Zealand have to earn their right for their ticket to the finals, and they've made a big step forward so far for that. And here we are in the Spark Arena in Auckland. 10 more minutes of World Cup basketball action for you, and China get things underway. As Fang goes to the basket, hands it off to Wang, who's going to have to be careful. He's in foul trouble. He drops on the ball. Oh my goodness me, Wang Jieling's going to be called for the foul, and I think that may be his 5th, which will see him out of the game. Only 17 seconds of the quarter gone. It's not really what he should be doing. The young big man doesn't need to be dribbling the ball at the top. It exposes him. And that will be the last we see of Wang Jieling. He's going to go to the bench. Not what the coaching staff will have wanted to see this early on in the final quarter. And Dong Han Lin will come in to replace him. Will that impact the Chinese? Kenny now. It's off the foot of Zhao, and it will be a sideline ball for New Zealand. 15 seconds left on their shot clock. And Tarangi comes across to inbound it. Kenny now uses a screen set by Fotu. Almost stolen away. Fotu with the spin. Big move by Isaac Fotu. He really has had a tough night tonight. He's worked so hard 12 points to him and 4 rebounds and a beautiful little spin move. Such a soft touch with the right hand. Can he convert the 3-point play from the line? He does, and the New Zealand lead is back out to 6. China won't want to see it extend too far if they want to win this game. Abdou Shalamu, man of the moment for China, hands it off to Liu. He can't get the jumper to go, and Tarangi rips down the rebound for New Zealand. To Fotu, and he hands it back to Tarangi. Oh, nice crossover by Tarangi. A little bit heavy on the right hand, and there's a fight under the basket for the rebound. The All Blacks come away with it. And it comes back to Kenny, almost on the halfway line. Uses the Fotu screen, and he hands it back to Ngatai, and he can't get the jumper to go. So China will rescue the situation somewhat. Fang now to Abdou Shalamu. Comes back to Liu, who hangs it on to Fang. Oh, and Zhao's too quick for his own good, but it's won back by Fang to Zhao. They get a new shot clock. It's into the hands of Liu. He misses again, and the Chinese shooting efforts are off target once again. Their percentage is starting to fall, and Zhao Jiwei is not happy with the officials. I can't see why, to be honest with you. It was just a big rebound by Tarangi, and he continues to swing his arms at Tarangi. That's a pretty clear foul. Oh, he's talking about Tarangi swinging elbows. It's a very subjective call for the officials. Just going to wait for, sorry, it was Vukona. Just going to wait for Vukona to tie his shoelaces. Nice close-up of the shoes there. Sporting a nice grey pair. Illy now with the ball to Abercrombie. To Vukona. Good ball movement here on the perimeter by New Zealand, but not causing many issues. It looks like an offensive foul has been called there on Vukona as he battled down in the paint. And there's been numerous fouls in this game. Quite a few players in foul trouble. China already have Wang Zheling on the bench with 5 fouls. He's out of the game, and I wouldn't imagine it'd be long before other players join him. Abdou Shalamu now for 3. Oh, that's a huge shot. Abdou Shalamu for another triple. He is feeling it tonight. He's up to 21 points. And he really has carried the Chinese team on his back here in Auckland. Vukona with a spin to the basket. Abdou Shalamu with the defense. And Abercrombie with the follow for 2. This really is a back and forth affair as we enter the final 7 minutes of action. Fang now to Zhao. Zhao drives inside, draws the contact from Abercrombie, but he can't get the touch off the glass. And New Zealand maintain their 5-point lead. Ngatai now with the ball, back to Illy. To Fotu for 3. Not what you expect to see from Fotu. Hasn't hit a 3 prior to this game in the World Cup qualifiers. Fang now to Zhao, and Zhao drives inside. It opens up for him, but he can't convert it. Abdou Shalamu now looks to float inside off the glass. Can't get it go. Gets his own board though. Abdou Shalamu is telling his teammates to climb on his back because he's going to take him to the win. What a big play by Abdou Shalamu. Down to 3-point lead now for New Zealand. Fotu, strong to the basket, can't get it to go. Vukona will kick it out to Ngatai, but it's intercepted. And it's Fang out of the races for the easy two-point lay-in. We have a one-point ball game here in Auckland. New Zealand 56, China 55. And you can hear the crowd in the arena, the Chinese fans starting to make some noise for their team. Oh, the decibels are rising. Ili to the basket, hands it off. Oh, and Vukona, easy two off the glass. Ili with a beautiful assist. Zhao now driving strong to the basket. He draws the foul from Shea Ili. That'll be Ili's fourth. That's a big call. Ili really is an influential member of the Tall Blacks. And 4 fouls on him could be a problem. There's the interception earlier by Fang, and he gets the easy two on the break. There's the beautiful dish by Ili to Vukona. Abdu Shalamu is on his double-double now. 23 points and 11 rebounds. And a little under 30 minutes of action for the 21-year-old. You do have to remember that when you watch him play. He plays with such confidence and ability. You have to remember he's just 21 years old. And these World Cup qualifiers are his first senior caps. Zhao Ru fails to hit either, and it's those little mistakes that could cost China dearly. Kenny now with the ball at the top. Pulls the trigger on a three. Oh, beautiful shot by Jared Kenny, the veteran guard. Takes the All Blacks in his hands and earns them a 3 points. A valuable 3 points. Extends the lead out to 6. And timeout has been called. A little under 5 minutes to play. And how important will be that three-pointer from Jared Kenny. Let's jump in to the Chinese huddle.
Tommy get that catch. If it's not on, dribble him out. Right? Post pull up here. Right, we want Tommy in that pull action. Mika here. Throw. Right, hard cut off that. Mickey might turn and go. Okay. Mike, you be down here.
Interesting listening into the timeout huddles there for both teams. Still cool and calm, both sets of teams, and China really do have some foul trouble. Wang Jiling already out of the game, and both Zhao Ji-wei and Zhao Ru have 4 fouls each. And then for New Zealand, their influential guard Ili is on 4 fouls as well, as New Zealand look to apply a little bit of full court pressure, man-to-man pressure, and just a slight pressure though. They allow China to advance the ball reasonably easily. Fang now, as Dong sets him a screen nice and high. Fang, oh, it's almost stolen away by Vukona, but he steps out of bounds, and it is going to be a Chinese ball. Mika Vukona working so hard for his team. Oldest player on the New Zealand roster. Only 3 players over 30 on the Tall Blacks roster, and Vukona the oldest at 35. Doesn't seem to be affecting his athleticism and his desire to win the ball, but here comes Zhao, and it just opens up and he misses a wide open layup, and he puts his head in his hands, and rightfully so. It's mistakes like that are so costly in tight games like this. Kenny now to Abercrombie, to Vukona. Vukona looks to turn the corner against Dong, and Dong bodies up on him. It's good defense by Dong Han Lin, and it pays off because China will come away with possession in the hands of Zhao Ru. Abdul Shalamu, the man of the moment, passes it back to Zhao Ru. Dong will set the screen and receive the pick and roll. Doesn't get the lucky bounce on the iron. And Tarangi picks up the rebound. Kenny slows it down for New Zealand. Shot clock down to 9. Pick and roll with Kenny and Vukona. Kenny's going to take the jumper himself, though, and he manages to arc it high above the outstretched hand of Dong Han Lin. And there's some string music echoing around the Spark Arena here in Auckland after that one, and New Zealand open up an 8-point lead. The foul is called on Rob Lowe. And what a high arcing shot from Jared Kenny. My goodness me, I'm surprised it didn't come down with snow on. Up into the rafters of the arena to get it over to the outstretched hand of Dong Han Lin. A 20-centimetre height differential between Kenny and Dong, so great play by Jared Kenny. In goes Zhao, but he can't get it to go. Kenny now up over the half. Back to Lowe, to Abercrombie. Shot clock down to 7. Abercrombie inside. Oh, nice shot by Abercrombie. He wasn't fazed by the expiring shot clock. And that's a big shot because that takes New Zealand back out to a 10-point lead. And they seem to have ridden the storm somewhat here in Auckland. They batten down the hatches as China hit them hard for prolonged periods in the third and fourth quarter. But it looks like New Zealand might have ridden the storm out and have come back strong here in the fourth, the closing stages of the fourth quarter. And they now hold a 10-point lead. Abercrombie there, great move by him, going in strong, drawing the body contact from Dong Han Lin, and holding the composure for the two off the glass. New Zealand have been a high-scoring team throughout this qualification, averaging 102.4 points per game. And they have relied on outscoring other teams. They scored 82 against China in the reverse of this fixture back in February, winning that one by 9. So they hold the head-to-head over China, and that's why China really did want to win by 10 this evening if they could. That would have given them top spot in Group A, but at the moment it looks like New Zealand are going to hold on to that top spot. But the key for them is to win the game, as all the results from this first phase of qualification carry through to the second phase, so every single win, every single basket counts. Zhao now with the ball for China. Do they have anything left in the tank to make another comeback? Zhao Jiwei can't get it to go, and Zhao Ru with the rebound, and he'll draw the foul. And that will earn him a trip to the line. And China really do need to make it count. And once again, Abercrombie is complaining to the officials. Pretty sure he's never committed a foul in a game from his reaction so far this evening. He's questioned every call the officials have made, but at the line is Zhao Ru. And this has been a problem for China in this game. Their free throw percentage is a lowly 56%, only 10 from 18, and the only thing that's worse than that is the New Zealand free throw percentage, which is only 44%. But that's primarily off the back of a 1 from 6 performance for Shea Ili. Both teams have struggled from the line tonight. Vukona now to Kenny. Back to Vukona, sets the screen for Ili, who gets the ball back to Vukona. Spin move, good ball movement, but China rotate well. Abercrombie for 3. Had to shoot it because of the shot clock, and some hustle there from Kenny means that they're going to get another 14 seconds, but once again the shot clock seems to have gone wrong. 1:32 left on the game clock here in Auckland, and New Zealand can almost taste the victory, which would take them to a final group position of 5 wins, 1 loss, and would see them progress as group champions to the second phase of qualifying. And the second phase of qualifying means that they would meet 3 other teams, 3 other top teams from another group, and that would be the top teams from Group C, which is Jordan, Lebanon and Syria in the next qualification phase. Fotu now finds Ngatai on the wing. He can't make it count, and the ball is thrown away by Zhao Jiwei as Liu was unable to hold on to it, and a slightly resigned look on the face of Coach Li of China. But a timeout has been called. That's the 14th turnover for China. Assistant coach there for China trying to keep their spirits high as the game's still in the balance. It's heavily swayed in favour of New Zealand, holding a 10-point lead with a little over a minute to go, but there's still time to play. So let's jump into the huddles and see what's being said on both teams. As you can see, the crowds have enjoyed every single minute of the game here, and it's wonderful to see. And this really has been the huge upside from the new look World Cup qualification. No longer are there automatic qualifiers, no longer there are out-of-season qualifying tournaments. We have qualification windows. This has given fans across the world more opportunities to see their teams more often on home soil. And as you can see from the 12,000 or so fans in the Spark Arena here in Auckland, they have relished that opportunity. Kenny now to inbound the ball for New Zealand, and does so to Ili. And Ili is fouled, and you have a feeling that was part of why China were calling the timeout. They're now going to foul New Zealand at every opportunity, and it's a smart move. Ili's not a great free-throw shooter. Vukona drives the baseline out to Abercrombie. He slows it down, back out to Ili. And they're going to run some clock now. Shot clock's down to 10 seconds. Ili drives inside to Vukona. Oh, he is blocked with authority by Fan Ziming. And it will be a New Zealand ball on the baseline. Shot clock down to 5. It's floated into Fotu. Fotu drop step inside, left-hand hook. Beautiful move by Isaac Fotu. 15 points for him. And the lead extends further. You have a feeling this may be a bridge too far for China now. There's a lot to ask. Long shot from outside by Zhao. Can't get it to go. And Fan goes to the rebound, can't get his putback to go, and away comes Vukona with the ball, and I think you can fairly say now that that's all she wrote here at the Spark Arena in Auckland. New Zealand are going to come away with the win and finish Group A as champions of Group A. Ball inside now. Oh, that's a nice drop step move by Fan Ziming, and back down to a 10-point ball game. Kenny now passes it over the half to Abercrombie as the clock drips down to below 10 seconds, and the crowd here in the Spark Arena of Auckland have been treated to a wonderful game of international basketball. It's been a full roller coaster. Both teams have had their high moments and their low moments, and the roller coaster has been for the full 40 minutes. But the winner of that roller coaster ride is going to be New Zealand. And a little bit of afters at the final buzzer, which is completely pointless, and teams come running over. Completely unnecessary. The game's been played in such a wonderful spirit. It'd be a shame to see it ended in any other way but those good spirits. And the final score here in Auckland is New Zealand 67, China 57. And New Zealand have had some big individual performances. Abercrombie, 14 points, 4 rebounds, a steal and a block. Isaac Fotu, 15 points, 5 rebounds and a steal. And from the bench, Rob Lowe with a huge performance, 23 minutes of action. He scored himself 13 points, as well as grabbing 10 boards, dishing it out 3 times, and stealing it twice and blocking it 4 times. An efficiency rating of 28 for Rob Lowe off 23 minutes of play. That's a huge night at the office for the 27-year-old big man. As for China, they've had some indifferent performances, but the highlight has to be from the 21-year-old forward, Abdul Shalamu. Played nearly 35 minutes, scored 23 points, grabbed 12 boards, stole the ball twice. There are your shooting percentages from tonight. Pretty even across the board. New Zealand winning the battle of the boards and playing a slightly more team-orientated brand of basketball. That's got them their win. And as you can see, it has been a close game. Not too many turnovers for either side. Foul situation tied. And here are your game leaders. Fotu, leading scorer for New Zealand with 15, and Abdul Shalamu with a big double-double, 23 points, 12 boards. Also 2 steals for him. And Illy with 3 steals, but Illy's contribution's bigger than that. He really is the heart and soul and runs the tempo of the team. Abercrombie and Lowe also in double digits for New Zealand. 14 points for Abercrombie, 13 for Lowe. Impressive perimeter shooting from those two. And this is how it leaves us in the group, as with New Zealand leading the group, finishing top of the group with 5 wins and a loss to their name. China will have to wait whether they finish second or third. As if Korea win, China will slip to 3rd place and Korea will jump into that 2nd spot. Either way, these 2 teams move forward to the 2nd phase of qualification, with Hong Kong missing out as they finish in 4th place. But yeah, these 3 teams, New Zealand, China and Korea, will progress from Group A. And in the 2nd round, they'll face the top 3 teams from Group C in the Asian Qualifiers, and that is Jordan, Lebanon and Syria. And they'll face those 3 teams in home and away situation over a further 3 qualification windows. Those windows will take place in mid-September, late November and mid-February. Now in the Asia zone, this initial qualification phase will progress to 2 groups of 6 in the 2nd phase. And all of those teams in those 2 groups of 6 are targeting the 7 berths at the World Cup finals. Top 3 from each group will go through, and best runner-up, as well as China, will qualify for the big show in China, the 2019 FIBA World Cup finals next year. And that's why these players are working as hard as they are and none more so tonight at the Spark Arena. We've had a night full of highlights, full of big plays, plenty of passion on show from players and coaches alike. But the winners for this evening are New Zealand. They'll leave Auckland and the first qualification phase with an impressive 67-57 win over China. They top Group A. China will have to wait on the result from Korea to see where they finish, but they will move through to the second qualification phase. I hope you've enjoyed the game here in Auckland at the Spark Arena. I know I have. It's been an amazing game of international basketball. Plenty more to come, so I hope you join us again soon for more FIBA World Cup action.